Let's get into the origin story of this partnership.
I mean, I've seen Gil play many, many times over the years, but we actually did a gig in Sioux City, Iowa, where I was DJing, and
he was amazing.
Gil popped up and did some kind of virtuosic Bach at a kind of a club show, and Sioux City of all places. So that was the beginning.
That's right. I think I played like E major partita, and they had the most amazing light show to go along with it and amplification. It was definitely a first. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool for us because my organization Mercury Soul does these classical club shows, and we do it mainly in San Francisco where I live, but also around the country. But we had never had anybody of Gil's stature appear on the show. So it's cool. It's amazing what it's like to experience a piece by Bach outside of a classical space. It still works really well.
I mean, in a way, you know, when I think of Bach, when I think of Bach's music, he meant for this music to be universally appealing and to speak to every human everywhere. And I think time has tested it to be accurate. You know, I think it we like to categorize things in our heads, but at the same time, we are all crossover inside ourselves. We have all experienced so many different types of music.
Yeah, even like Mozart quartets, which sound classical with capital C. Some of them will have these, you know, gavotte tunes or things, you know, these rhythms that are really outside of. They were very much referencing kind of bard type folk music. So, yeah, if you under the surface, there's a lot of things always coming into classical music from elsewhere, and really the whole history of music is one group taking something to the neighboring village or tribe or something and sharing that. You know, all music has really been the result of these kind of trading of motifs and melodies and rhythms. So the idea of a Nomad Concerto was, it's definitely a concerto. I have that in the title. But I wanted it to have this kind of tribute to the movement of cultures and how they benefit the places they pass through and how they acquire some of those characteristics. The whole concept of nomadic cultures is that wherever, you know, whether it be like the Bedouin or the Roma people or, you know, the Irish travelers, wherever these people are moving, they're incorporating things into their music, to their art, to their lives. And there's something so beautiful about that kind of mixture of things it's really wonderfully hard to pin down. So it was really reflecting on the artistic result of people moving around, and sometimes for mournful reasons, whether it be, you know, we have no home, or also for just like, you know, almost like a carnival moving through a town, that kind of reason. You know, I think that the thing that's so beautiful about music is that it can incorporate so many different kinds of cultures, so many different kinds of styles, even in something that can just feel very natural. You know, it's not like you have a collage on a piece of canvas.
Just now when you were speaking, I was thinking of this amazing second movement, which you called a magician at the bazaar, where, I don't know, the violin, the soloist just plays a few notes, maybe 3 notes, and then launches the whole orchestra into, I don't know, some sort of a magic trick. Yeah. Oh, you know, I would maybe look at the first violins and play, you know, and then they take it. I think it's.
What about the opening riff though that you do?
You know, so movement 2 starts with the violin playing, I don't know, as if a magician in the bazaar. You know. You know, and it's that little excerpt that I played returns, and every time it feels almost like a magician's formula. Yeah. We were talking about this before. It's kind of like
it's like patter or the setup.
Yeah, the setup. It's like nothing up my sleeves, nothing up. You know, just kind of very fast sleight of hand,
and then those kind of scales kind of get picked up by the orchestra and like kind of explode in these kind of fluorescent kind of textures. And the idea is that it all comes back to the magician, who's kind of creating these little things, and then this amazing Philadelphia Orchestra becomes a kind of the magic that explodes out of Gil's violin. And that was just, it's like a idea of some kind of a carnival troupe that's passing through and has elements of mystery, maybe a little danger, and then all of a sudden these magic tricks happen. The power of these mobile communities that are, again, like picking up, remixing things along the way that make it just a fascinating world to explore in a concerto format.
Mason, you write so well for the violin. Do you have a fiddle at home? Do you play?
I really don't. I mean, I've spent a lot of time making mistakes.
but you have an instrument at home.
It's not really something you'd want to hear me play. You'd be like, that looks like you should put it down. But it's good as a composer to have it nearby so you can just figure out if this is even possible.
I mean, the writing of this piece is so suitable for violin. It lies so well. The opening melody is open fifths, There's so many things about it that are just violin, And so I must say, you write very well for the violin.
Yeah. The thing that is interesting as a composer when you're writing a concerto is that your approach to the medium changes. And there are these kind of concertos that are almost like symphonic concertos. They have, you think of like the Ligeti cello concerto or something that they contain multitudes. There's also an approach where you really let it bloom out of the soloist sound. And I think with Gil, I've always been so amazed at your tone. You have this tone that sounds like, a 1,000-year-old man trapped in a young person's body. Like it sounds like it's both a very old sound, the tone of your playing also, but it's clearly of this moment. So I wanted to write a piece that really would showcase that kind of interesting old world sound that Gil has.
What a privilege! What a privilege to be with you, to play your piece, to play with the Philadelphia Orchestra. Very excited.